Welcome to Cricket Center. Mumbai Indians took on Chennai Super Kings and were handed out their third consecutive defeat. And Chennai Super Kings, obviously a very strong side, but then Mumbai Indians had to get the act together, and it wasn't going to happen with the non-performance of their overseas players. Starting with Hussey, so much was expected of him, primarily someone who could play the first 6 overs in the power play overs and also carry on in the middle overs, take on the spinners, and provide a lovely finish. All the three areas have been an issue for Mumbai Indians and their first wicket partnership. Because of Hussey not having a great outing, his aggregate is about 20 in 3 innings, and their first wicket partnerships have been 24, 20, and 11. And if you get that kind of a start, your power play overs are going to be just 37 for 1, and that's how they average. And in comparison, if you look at Chennai Super Kings, they have the best as far as the aggregate goes for the power play overs. They get 50 runs plus, and that's the kind of start with Smith and McCullum, and both of them just complement each other so well. That's one area which Mumbai Indians just haven't had their act put together, and it's very disappointing that Michael Hussey hasn't come good yet. But there's always an opportunity for someone like Ben Dunk, who's had a great big bash season, and he's averaged 44 and his strike rate 146. In 10 matches that he's figured in the Big Bash, he's been an outstanding performer. And I wonder why he's been benched so far, because if you carry that kind of stat, you want to just make sure you push him up front, and his confidence riding high will just take you with the team, and the team will perform better. The middle overs haven't been great either, but one good aspect for Mumbai Indians in that game is the fact that Rohit Sharma has come good, making a half century, and he had the support of a Corey Anderson in the middle, although Anderson played a very slow game. And the partnership of 84 gave them substance, but they had to do a little bit of a rebuilding act, and in the last 4 or 5 overs, they had to get 60 runs to be providing a challenging score to a very strong Chennai Super Kings batting lineup. Not to forget, Super Kings bat until 8, which means that 160 would have been an ideal target to set on that surface. And it also goes to show that Anderson and Pollard haven't clicked together. Is it because of the injuries? Is it because of their lack of form out there? Anything could be the reason, but then when you come to 2020 cricket, you just don't have too much time. With a flick of a finger, I think you need to get your act together. And Pollard not striking a 6 in 3 matches, and his aggregate of 21 in 3 innings, it's so poor out of 26 deliveries that he's faced, and he's found it difficult to strike anything outside the field. And Anderson, on the other hand, has played 58 deliveries for 59 runs. It doesn't seem like a 2020 game. It's a run-a-ball effort that he's given with the bat. Not only that, I think the two of them, from the bowling point of view, the perspective there, I think they've just not done well at all together. As all-rounders, so much is expected, and they bring in the opportunity for the team to fit in others. Let's say that's where they stand, Mumbai Indians, with their batting. It's been a huge letdown so far, but then a few switches here and there, things can change. All the same, we have to take a look at what Super Kings did as they chased 140 plus. Toss going in the favor of Mumbai Indians, but the other things didn't. And Mumbai Indians deciding to bat first couldn't post a very big score, and 141 wasn't going to be enough. But you have to give credit to people like Hilton House, Pandey, and Mohit Sharma. And particularly Hilton House, I think up front, he provides these breakthroughs. That's a really crucial thing. And if you look at the economy that he's carried over a period of time for Super Kings, it's outstanding. And that's one bowler they missed in the very first game of the season, where they got knocked out badly. And from there on, I think a better balance has arrived for Super Kings. Now, you look at Ishwar Pandey. He has replaced Ashish Nehra. He's bowled in all 3 games, and he's able to complete his quota overs, and his economy is 5.5. And I think Dhoni doesn't need to worry too much from here on. He's got 2 bowlers made, and that's important. The third in that cogwheel is Mohit Sharma. Man of the match, 4 for 14. And what better can you expect from a young fast bowler like him? He also has a variety, which really makes him different from the other 2. He comes in and he clocks 140 at times, He bowls a very good Yorker, lovely swing movement, and those little changes in pace. A couple of wickets that he picked up were of short pitch ball that never arrived. They were bowled so slow, the slow bounces, back of the palm release, and including getting Rohit Sharma out for one of those slow bounces. I think standout performance from him, and much can be looked forward to. His death bowling has also improved from there on. Now Ashwin, Jadeja, Ashwin is very steady. Jadeja can have the odd bad day, but when he has it good, he puts his act together and takes everything home. And the rest of them have to just keep watching. Raina probably can come in and bowl 2 or 3 overs, which he has done over a period of time. And the bowling seems to be looking in very, very good hands. They don't have to worry too much in Super Kings. They bowled well and contained Mumbai Indians to 141. Despite Mumbai Indians having that platform somewhere in the last 3-4 overs, they could have latched onto and got another 50 runs. Wasn't to be, and I think all credit to the Super Kings bowlers, Ilfan House, Pandey, and Mohit Sharma in particular. Now, looking at the way they were chasing down, 141 wasn't a big score. But then when you have Juggernaut, McCullum, and Smith, the two of them as a pair, and they're averaging somewhere around 60. That's a hell of a lot of runs when you look at it in 2020 cricket. And the two of them complement each other. Over a period of time, if you have been watching cricket and you've heard these two names, Gordon Greenidge and Desmond Haynes. Well, Gordon Greenidge used to be a murderous man, square of the wicket, and Desmond Haynes used to ease the ball in front. And the two of them used to get runs in different areas, so confusing for a bowler. This is typically a case, and as you can see, the runs areas being scored. You look at a McCullum, the areas that he scores are typically around cover, wide of mid-off. And you look at Smith, on the other hand, he's plundered mid-on, long-on, and square leg. These are areas that he's targeting. So where does a bowler constantly have to switch? And when he does it, he's going to be off target. And these two are really up at the top of the order. I think they're going to be a big problem for most teams that are going to face the Super Kings. And looking at down the order, you have Suresh Raina is in good form too. And Dhoni, I'm sure, hasn't had enough opportunity to pull out that helicopter shot. Probably as the games go along, he will find it. And they're really looking good. Until 8, they have batting, which makes Super Kings such a very organized unit. Very strong in their batting lineup, excellent with the bowling, and so far they're looking a very well-rounded team despite the loss of Dwayne Bravo. So there are the overseas players performing and also the young Indians performing, and that is really good to watch. Now, on the other hand, if you look at Mumbai Indians, I think their bowlers have done well. Malinga, Harbhajan Singh, and Zahir Khan. The three of them have bowled well, bowled their heart out, and on 2 occasions, Mumbai Indians have batted first, but just couldn't put up enough on the board. And a challenging score of 150, 160, and with these three really bowling well, it will be a lot of pressure. Even in this game against Super Kings, that could well have been the case. There would have been a lot of pressure on Super Kings chasing 160. It wasn't to be, and it was primarily the problem areas of Pollard and Corey Anderson and Oja. Well, I don't know what he's up to because he's been thrashed all around the park. They had to find, really think hard to find some couple of bowlers there definitely required. And who are they? Because whoever is on the bench is not yet ready for them, and mostly batsmen or the overseas fast bowlers. So they just don't seem to have enough backup there. But they can do a few things different, make the batting look a little better, and that's one thing they can think of. Hussey started off as a middle order batsman with Super Kings, and could well be a case again. Pull him back, get into form, and then think of pulling him back to the opening slot. But he might have to give way for Ben Dunk, as we already discussed that, and the other spot there is Corey Anderson's got to give way somewhere to someone else because Anderson's not doing what is required to do. And also, you look at it, he's been slowing things down. Pollard sometimes might click, sometimes he won't, but that's the chance you want to take in a 2020 game. So keep watching, and this is what we think Mumbai Indians could do in the matches to come. And Super Kings, less of worry because they've taken a nice, easy walk on the desert platform. And whatever's coming your way, do keep your support with us and give your feedback. That's really important. Write to us at cricket_2_1 or VBC Saker. Bye until then.